Good morning and welcome inside the locker room here on Smooth Breakfast with Valentine.
And with Tega and with Ayo. I have to call Tega's name first.
Yes, you have to. I don't worry, I'm not jealous. It's
I'm
okay.
I'm
We'll have to
glad
play
you know. Good morning,
Tega.
Lagos.
So officially, Lagos, I'm scared of Tega.
Yeah,
Just letting you know.
Just
that's
letting the
that's a
world
good
know.
thing.
All right. Okay, but we're not scared of you because we want you to be a part of the conversation this morning. So please be a part of our conversation using our social media platforms. You can use WhatsApp. Number to send that message to is 0809 444
Yes, and on Twitter, using the hashtag lockerroom981, tweet at smooth981fm, and we'll find your tweets there. On YouTube, we're streaming live. You can also use the live chat option to send us messages. And we go. With the
Yes, we
messages,
go.
right?
We go.
For
We,
the
have, we
stories.
would love. I mean, we our YouTube family is just amazing. So
Yes,
please keep
we
it
love
coming.
you.
Yeah, we love you. Okay, so the Tigers have potential to shock the world at 2019 FIBA World Cup. Ahmedu says. Peter Ahmedu, assistant coach of Nigeria's national women basketball team, on Saturday said the men's national team have the ability to perform well at the 2019 FIBA World Cup in China. Ahmedu, while reacting to the 2019 World Cup draw held at Shenzhen in China on Saturday, said the Tigers have a good chance to advance beyond their group with early preparation. Now, he said, as far as the World Cup is concerned, there is no group that is a walkover. So the Tigers group is not a bad group for them. With the caliber of players we have begun to prepare early for the tournament. It's a group we can qualify from. He said this to newsmen. Nigeria has been placed in Group 4 alongside South Korea and basketball powerhouses Russia and Argentina.
Yes, I think that's where the trick is. So, well, would I still say Argentina is a powerhouse? I mean, considering that Scola is now playing in China and then Manu Ginobili is retired, they've been. I mean, they're replacements, but they're not those guys. So you look at that team and say, okay, maybe Nigeria can take them this year, maybe. Um, but I think the real scary one would be the Russians, and so Nigeria has to find a way around that.
So
But
they're the team to beat.
yeah, but all in all, it's actually a fair draw. I think every African team got a fair draw, and so did the Tigers. So go in there, or go out there and try your best to win as many games as possible. I know that in the last few games, Nigeria lost in the African qualifiers. It was largely due to the fact that they'd already qualified. So it was largely due to that we've already qualified. Why are we still doing this? And again, some players not invited. But this is the World Cup. I think Coach Mora would have the full complement of his squad, and hopefully the divided house in the MBBF will not affect the preparation to the World Cup, and then Nigeria can go and do stuff. So yeah, it's a fair draw.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, now let's talk about Formula One. So Mercedes have revealed that they discovered car damage on Lewis Hamilton's silver arrow after the world champion's defeat in Australian GP. Now Hamilton was spotted inspecting his car immediately after the race, and Mercedes later reported, "We've discovered damage to Lewis's floor in the area just in front of the left rear tire. There's a chunk of the floor missing, but we're not 100% sure why yet." But Hamilton offered no excuses for his failure to translate pole position at Albert Park into victory on race day, with the Englishman beaten by over 20 seconds by Valtteri Bottas. In his words, Bottas says, "It was definitely my best race ever. The car was perfect. It was truly enjoyable."
Yeah, so we start this race from the get-go. Lewis Hamilton, for some reason, he wins pole on Saturday.
Yeah.
Amazing. Like, the guy knows how to get those pole positions. Then he gets in his car on Sunday, and he forgets to drive when the lights go out. It's like, so he had this, he had this thing where his wheels were spinning a bit too fast, so he was not moving. Valtteri Bottas was like, "Good to go, see you later."
It worked in his favor.
Valtteri Bottas just, it's like he was waiting, and as soon as the lights went out, he was off. Lewis Hamilton was still trying to get a grip. But it wasn't the fact that Valtteri Bottas overtook him. First of all, there's a couple of things. So Valtteri Bottas overtakes him, but Lewis starts dropping, and he's 3 seconds behind Valtteri Bottas. And they're on the softer compound. You think that at some point he's going to be able to catch up, and maybe there'll be a team order to say, let Lewis go, or maybe he'll be able to by himself overtake the car. But something happens. Ferrari pulls in Vettel, and Mercedes decides to undercut that, and then they pull in Lewis Hamilton very early in the race and put him on the medium compound, which is slower but could last you longer. And so this is a Hamilton's. Then Hamilton is all of a sudden losing this race by 20 whole seconds. So it's not the fact that he came. Yeah, it's not the fact that he came second. It's the fact that he came in 20 seconds after. Yeah. So where was his pace? Where did he go? And now they're telling us that there was a chunk of his car missing. Who ate it? Because we don't know. We don't know.
Maybe it was the tarmac. The damage was clearly at the bed on the floor.
It was on the floor, but I mean, you saw that when Verstappen went over, you saw what happened to Ricciardo's wings that got it damaged, but we didn't see where Hamilton's car, climbed the curb or something. So there is no. Happened? Thank you. So that's where when did it get lost? I mean, halfway through when Hamilton came off, he said, "I think I know why my car did not have pace." So he and his engineers, they should be able to tell us where it went. But whatever it was, Valtteri Bottas he managed the race absolutely well, from start to finish, and then his strategy was spot on, because even with the slower tires, with the faster tires, even if the tires older, he was still able to set faster paces than Lewis Hamilton when Hamilton had gone into the pit stop. So amazing strategy for Valtteri Bottas, amazing drive by him, an amazing result for Mercedes. I think the only people that really cried this weekend will be Ferrari, because they don't know where their pace went, especially Vettel, who doesn't know what happened to him. And then Lewis Hamilton has to wonder what happened to his pace. But this happened last year. He won pole, came into the race, Vettel won the race, and then he went on to win the season. So it's a question of how will the season go for him. So we wait to see what Bahrain will be. But this race on this weekend, Valtteri Bottas was the man. And he took that extra
so a victory well earned.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well deserved. Well deserved. Driver of the day, everything of the day.
All right. Okay, now we move on to sports, where Dominic Thiem beat Roger Federer to win title. And Dominic Thiem ended Roger Federer's bid for a record 6th Indian Wells title with a battling 3-set victory in the final in California. The Austrian 7th seed fought back to beat Federer 3-6, 6-3, 7-5. Also, in the women's championship, Bianca Andreescu's remarkable Indian Wells run culminated with the wild card beating 3-time Grand Slam champion Angelique Kerber to secure the title. The 18-year-old Canadian, ranked outside the top 150 at the start of the year, beat the German 6-4, 3-6, 6-4.
I mean, it was amazing. I think the novices just took out the champion, the serial champions very easily. With Bianca against Angelique Kerber, once I saw that matchup, I was like, Angelique Kerber is going to win this. Let me go to bed. What am I wasting my data for? It was a tough one. 3 sets, and the 18-year-old, at some point during the match, was telling her coach, "I'm so tired. I don't think I can play again." Then she now went and won the match. I will not agree. I think some players do it psychologically. They'll call it the trainer. Next thing they will beat you. After calling the trainer, you're like, what is going on? But
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, she did put in a good work. She did look tired at that time, but she did fight back, stayed in the match, put in a good work. She's won. Amazing job. And again, that's the way the WTA can be. Very erratic with the results.
Yes.
Somebody can come out from nowhere and just win it. With the men, it was a bit strange. The Rafa Nadal had to pull out with a knee injury that he, in my opinion, aggravated by completing his match against Karen Khachanov. He shouldn't be doing that to his body. I say this all the time. The way he punishes his body. I mean, I don't know what his plan for his life after tennis will be, because all those parts of the body will come back to take their own court. But he was punishing his body, managed to win the match against Karen Khachanov, but couldn't show up for the match against Roger Federer. Had to withdraw from this tournament and from Miami this week. So, but Roger Federer comes into this game, and the very first set, it was good, but second set, like as usual, his first service dropped. But third set, I think what Roger Federer did in the third set wasn't as much. Dominic Thiem played an excellent game, take nothing from him, but it was more of Federer just being cocky. He would try a shot. It will not work the first time. He'll try it again just for good measure. Maybe
he was using him to practice for the bigger game. I mean, because this would have been
this is the bigger. This would have been his 6th title here. Yeah. This would have been his 101 title career, this would have increased the number of masters he has won, getting him closer to Djokovic and Rafa Nadal. Dude just lost it in that third set, and he wasn't like he was struggling with his serves as opposed to the way he was struggling with serve in the second set. Sad one for him. Congratulations to Dominic Thiem winning his first Masters. Well deserved. Stayed in it. You could tell he was struggling mentally and sometimes physically, but Roger was the gift that kept giving. He took advantage of it and he won. You know, he was like, thank you, sir. Thank you, I'm grateful.
All right, Lagos. When we come back, we'll take some of your comments as well as the rest of the sports stories here. Tega is not going anywhere, so please stay tuned.
We got messages.
So we have a long break right now.
That's good.
We
love you, Lagos.
Okay, now let me take out this Lovis and put a shorter Kenny. I mean,
move that stuff out.
Which one? No, because they're the ones that put it there. Not me. They're the ones that put it there.
We are going to arrange it according to what suits you.
Okay. No, but short. You know why? I think they're going from advert to a hype.
Yes. With the stopper there, after this ad has finished, we stop.
Oh, you mean the stopper? Sorry. I'm the one that made a mistake. I was wondering what you were saying. Is this one that she had the stopper? No, not this one. There should be a liner. I was wondering what you were saying. I should say no, but they're the ones that puts it in there now. So nice.
What station is this? Can be CNN. Is it Casual Monday?
BBC.
I know.
No, but CNN though have started to do that. Even channels, I was surprised. Channels too, they started to remove their suits and wear casuals.
No, this is too casual. This looks like a Macy. What's it called? Macy. I'm going to Macy's to shop for house clothes.
They've what's it called?
It's not this toned down.
They have toned it down. Oh, hi everyone. You're still online. How you doing?
Hi everyone. I need sleep. Silly Roger Federer did not allow me to sleep, and then he lost. I'll beat him when I see him.
You people should appreciate Tega when she, comes out from a night out of watching football for your sake, and then coming to work early in the morning.
I'm not sure it's for their sake.
Accolades.
I'm not sure it's for their sake.
And she receives accolades in the form of transfers, in the form of food, in the form of
things like breakfast.
Breakfast, imagine coming to work.
English breakfast.
Okay, don't choose. You're still choosing. Okay. Please give her any breakfast that you're.
No. Yeah, my egg I can cook in my house. Just English breakfast.
Are you serious? You like yam and egg?
Is it Saturday? Is it Saturday morning?
Jam is on my head.
That was there. You see me breakfast on Saturday.
So that's Saturday morning.
That's Saturday morning breakfast.
No, yeah, it has the morning food is akara and ogi.
No, my house.
On Sunday morning. Well, not without the ogi parts.
Well, who has time to cook?
In my house, growing up.
I came from Lekki.
Yeah.
I came to VI to look at her.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Mic's up. Right, the love we have for you is definitely no ordinary love here at Smooth 98.1. This is the locker room here on Smooth Breakfast with Valentine.
And with Ayo and Tega.
You mentioned my name. Don't cause trouble.
All right. It's okay. Yeah.
Okay, so somebody else who's scared of Tega is on YouTube sending us a message. Actually, on Twitter, let's take that one first. Ayodele Okunfolami. He said, I fear and respect Tega Supreme. Can you imagine her predicting Burnley would lose 1-2 on Saturday? On Saturday, despite Leicester being 1 point down. I respect, by the way. What is it about Nigeria and Argentina always drawing together? Basketball World Cup and Olympics. What is it? All right, let's move on to the next story. Now, after a topsy-turvy campaign and a tragic week which saw their hopes of any silverware disappear, Real Madrid were all smiles again at the Bernabeu after Zinedine Zidane's return as coach was celebrated with a 2-0 victory over Celta Vigo on Saturday. Now, Real goalkeeper Keylor Navas told reporters this, and I quote, "Happiness has returned to the dressing room, and that's the most important thing." He continues, "The past is in the past. The group is working well. I do not know if we needed a change or not, but the club thought it was necessary. Now Zidane has spoken to each of us, each one individually, and now we need to be professionals and work hard."
I like the way he says happiness has returned to the dressing room because he's returned to the pitch. The first thing Zizou did was drop Thibaut Courtois and put back Keylor Navas, the guy that he knows. And that's what happens with coaches. I say this thing about managers. Managers trust who they trust. Sometimes it's not necessarily about the quality or the input of players. Sometimes it's just a manager has a style and some players fit better into it. So he chose Keylor Navas. They won the game by 2-0. Isco started. Isco is so excited now. But even Bale, that you thought would be on the outside looking in, Zidane played him, and then of course he got the second goal. So it's about Zizou looking at this team and thinking of what's best for this team. Let's not try too many changes yet. Yes, let's just get the right results, the right momentum, and then we can start to flick and trick things. On the other hand, but they're still out of real contention. On the other hand, for Barcelona, who have now gone 10 points clear at the top, amazing weekend. What was even more amazing is that Messi gave us, I want to say thriller in Manila, but it was not Manila.
Messi had to come back after people started talking about Cristiano Ronaldo last week.
I think Messi even came back that last week, but for him to top it this week for good measure, it was ridiculous. That third goal, Rakitic passes back to him. The way he, some people put their foot through the ball and just hit it, but the way he coiled it around the goalkeeper, I mean, the crowd in the stadium, so his team supporters and the away supporters were applauding. It was remember how Ronaldo went to score at Juventus and the crowd stood up to clap for him. That's what happened to Messi. It was a beautiful goal. But they're now 10 points clear ahead of Atletico Madrid, who are still sulking from their loss to Juventus, and they lost again this weekend for good measure. So that's the La Liga roundup. It looks like La Liga is firmly still going back to Barcelona.
All right, let's keep watching. This is football. Anything can happen. So anything can change just like that. All right, now Maurizio Sarri baffled by strange shifts in Chelsea mentality. Maurizio Sarri has called Chelsea's mentality into question after the contrasting second half performance in yesterday's defeat at Everton. Now, he said, we played probably the best 45 minutes of the season, and then suddenly, at the beginning of the second half, we stopped playing. I don't know why, he said. We were in trouble. The situation was clear. It's clear the problem is not a physical problem. If it was a physical one, you could go down gradually. Not in 1 second. It's probably a mental block. I don't know. And the players don't know what happened in the second half. I cannot explain it.
If he doesn't know, and the players don't know, how are they going to solve this problem? But the one thing I know before I go on to this story is that you can watch one free Premier League match on Kwese TV. All you need to do is download the Kwese iFlix on your mobile phone and get one free Premier League match. This weekend was the Leicester Burnley match, where I predicted the.
Yes, you did.
Yeah,
and which you don't usually do, but we see why now.
Yeah, this was different. This one was jinxed.
So apparently you can put your money on Tega's prediction.
Sometimes. But you either download the Kwese iFlix, or you tune your local TV station to UHF 32 just to watch that one match. And the EPL on Kwese is brought to you by Coca-Cola. Okay, so now let's go back to people that don't know their work. Because those at Kwese know their job, but these people don't know their work. What was Sarri Ball doing? Why? He comes into this game that is supposed to be tough. He knows how Everton can be. He saw the game like Everton against Liverpool, how they took some points. And yes, Everton can be a bit tricky. Today, today they show you a fantastic team. The next day they come out with a horrible display. And Jordan Pickford sometimes can be a bit generous with his goalkeeping. But when you go into that team, you don't expect that, okay, today is going to be the day that Everton is bad. You go there and prepare for the Everton that can destroy you. And that's what first half, Everton kind of gave the ball to Chelsea. Just play around with it. We'll sit back. We'll do what we need. We'll try not to concede any goals, or even if we do concede, we'll try not to concede as many goals so that we'll play in second half. Second half, they changed it on Chelsea. 1 minute they were sitting back for 45 minutes. Next one, they came out of as soon as they ran out of the locker room and ran straight into Chelsea's 18-yard box to get goals. Like, that's how they rushed the game. And so they changed the strategy, and so Chelsea didn't switch immediately to adapt. Yes, to adapt to the changes. And that's what I expected Atletico Madrid to do to Juventus in the second half when they met. I expected them to come out and attack in second 45, but they didn't do that. But Everton played this game very well, and so that I understand when Sarri Ball says that he doesn't know what happened. But I think the sack is coming. I know. I see it coming. I see it coming.
Okay. It's a musical Monday then. Lukman from Ijabode sent us a message on WhatsApp. He says, "Good morning. What a weekend full of sporting activities. Formula One making a return and voters claiming it. But the Mercedes first look scrappy during the testing weekend or week. FIBA World Championship draw. Juventus suffering its first Serie A defeat. Zidane's second coming at Real Madrid ends with a win, and Couture dropping to the bench, back to base or back to back loss to Darling United. Tega, what?
Look, man, drop
Don't be
this
rude,
in.
look, man. Don't be inappropriate either. Let's take this one from Yemisi.
Oh, let me see. Father Unsi from Adeniran says Lewis Hamilton is a true champion indeed, following the footsteps of people like Nigel Mansell, Michael Schumacher, and Alonso King. Kudos to him. More grease to his elbow and less chip on the shoulders of his challengers.
And Nathan Njoku says it was a good footballing weekend for me. Newcastle got a draw away. Man City, with the help of refs, continued their cheating ways. United lost. Haha. Man is still on fire as we won, but Babel felt bad scoring against us. Chelsea made Everton look like a top 4 contender. The Milan derby was action-packed. Who says Italian football is dead? And Leo Messi ended football with that audacious third goal to complete his hat-trick. Liverpool are back on the top league. Good week. Nathan Joko sent us from Q3.
What an analysis, Nathan. Well done. Good
nice
job.
rundown. Let's quickly go talk about Manchester United, shall we? Their manager, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, described his side's 2-1 FA Cup quarter-final loss to Wolverhampton Wanderers on Saturday as the worst performance of his 4 months in charge. In his words, Solskjaer told news conference, quite a lot was missing today. It was the poorest performance we've had. It was a big step backwards. We never had the urgency and quality on the ball, even though without the ball in the first half, we did okay. I think it's something natural, he said. You cannot perform to the top of your level every single time.
Yes, but you can grind out the results, and you can put in the work. I think what it is he has these young guys, but they're not disciplined enough to keep attention for the marathon, and that's what you need. Sometimes it's much more than just talent, because if you are playing for a big team, you're going to be competing on multiple fronts, and in as much as the performance sometimes it's not going to be regular, it's not going to be top notch, but the results should come in. They couldn't just grind their and before the game started, they knew Wolves was always going to be a tough fixture, was going to be tricky, because this Wolves side, they don't just defend well, they are very versatile when they attack, and they give you something to look. It's not like the Wolves of before. It's a totally revamped Wolves. They play good football, and so that's the team that you're going to come and play against. And he was right. When they didn't have the ball, they held their formation, they held their position, but there was something about them with the ball. Yes, I know Rashford, he got some chances, he missed some chances. Martial looked as dodgy as he would always look, but his excuse again is that he's been in and out with injury. Same goes for Lingard, but the team as a whole did not put their best foot forward, and Wolves just took advantage, and Wolves managed the game well. There are moments where they let Manchester United have the ball. There were moments where they had the ball, but everything they did, they made it count. When they were defending, they closed up the spaces. When they were attacking, they used the open spaces. And so it was a fantastic display. So I agree with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I think the one thing Manchester United need to do now is give him, first of all, I would say this, and I know some Manchester United fans will come for me, give him the job and give him some good money.
Wow.
To buy quality players that he needs to challenge on all fronts. Otherwise, we are just here wasting time.
That's the guy's recommendation. Quick message from Chimobi Victor from Alaba International. Said kudos to Everton and to Wolves for getting the job done against Chelsea and Manchester United respectively. Though it wasn't a surprise at all, while for Juventus, they just send some of their pointers back to their village. Interesting. Thank you, Chimobi.
All right, Chimobi, thank you very much. We'll go on a break now. When we come back, we will be wrapping up, but we'll take your messages, your comments, and hopefully Tega will respond to some. And if she's feeling it, she might give you 1 or 2 predictions for you to put your bet on.
I think we're going to take one more story, the Juventus story.
We have the adverts 3 minutes.
They'll be all right.
3 minutes. So we actually come back at 8:44.
Blood of God. I would have loved to take that Juve story. I have to. Okay, you know what? Just read the line.
Okay, I'll just read the line now. Okay.
And then I can wrap it up with a sentence.
Okay.
Talked about her like she was an actual person. He gave her the best of everything.
Sorry, guys, I need to just check something.
Insurance, sensing before it was even necessary, and oven baking every year. Regina, in return, served him well until the day a trailer ran into his parked vehicle and he acted like a
Why you wearing full body armor?
What happened in Venezuela again?
Hunger.
Okay, no, they're just advertising hunger.
Poverty now. Yeah, now their economy is bad. So they are protesting.
He just wanted his Regina back. And
Oh gosh, sorry guys for seeing that yawn. I always forget that you're still there.
I need breakfast.
I need breakfast too.
Let me tell you what. So I've been broke from last week, and me when I'm broke, I always like the most expensive of things.
Wow.
That's how I go to. Okay, this yam and egg discussion. I said no, I'm not having my yam and eggs. So I went to Chocolate Royale
Yes.
to have the English breakfast.
Are you
It was
serious?
5K. I was thinking of that 5K. God, I could use the 5K for stuff. Anyway, so I'm sitting there, and I've ordered the food, and my first bank refused to work. Like the stuff refused to load, and I had just 5K. I had to. I'm broke now, but
It's well.
I had to. I don't have any cash, but I ate well.
Don't listen to Valo.
No, but that's how I am. If when I don't have money, when I don't have money like
I
this,
used to do that.
It's not as if it's not as if the money was we are treasures. Maybe
Yes.
you are broke down to 5K. You
Now.
now say, guy, I'm hungry. Guy, I
And
can't
you-
die. I can't
yes.
Yes.
And it's for me to go and eat. It's for me to go and eat sandwich from Chicken
Yes.
Republic that will take at least 1K
Yes.
or 1K2 from me. I said that 5K breakfast.
So
is
how
one
did
I
you not
ordered.
pay when First Bank was not working?
So I paid with my so First Bank is not working. So usually what I do sometimes I borrow and then I pay myself back.
Okay.
But I couldn't even borrow. So I'm broke now. And I don't think I want to go and fix that app.
Adio. So that you won't touch the money that's what I did though. So my savings account, I don't have a card to it. They've called many times off on my side. I don't want. By force, I don't want.
No, so I can't remember my diamond account. That's my savings account.
Oh,
I
okay.
can't remember my diamond account.
Oh, and that's the salary goes.
Yeah.
That's very good.
My diamond account pin. But I'm broke. 1 naira down. I'm smiling. I'm not going to fix the app. I think I'm going to do one.
What?
I'll look for one job to do. Yeah, you know those fast voiceover that you do 20K.
Those facts. Honestly, those things are so useful.
That's what I'm going to.
I have one of those things. This
Don't be
Friday.
listening
Quick
to my
money.
secrets.
Oh, sorry. Quick money is small, oh, but
I'm telling you.
then
So I'm just going to look for one of those quick jobs today. I am broke, Lagos. I am freaking broke. Anyway, I'll come back at 40.
Now here's the thing. I don't need noise while I work.
okay, good people.
Synergies to the rhythm of my hands while I design, like a friend or a muse.
We are coming back to read messages. We are coming.
Its music is the fruit of the soul. Then, Smooth FM
Is-
is my favorite diner. My station.
What messages? Okay. Oh, my mics are going up.
And this is my radio.
It's still the locker room here on Smooth 98.1, part of Smooth Breakfast with Valentine.
And with Ayo and Tega.
You're welcome back for the final stretch of this morning's news on sports around the world.
Yes.
We have a comment on a comment on YouTube.
That's right.
Ernest.
Go on.
Oh, Ernest Okenwa says, Botu said he won, but he did not know how it happened. Vettel and Lewis should sit up, and Messi is a big fat goat.
Oh, wow.
No, but I think it's
He
a
meant
good
Bottas,
goat.
though.
Oh, Bottas. So
Yeah, and the big fat goat is actually a compliment.
It is. I know.
Which is such an irony. Off Young Ayo says, Tega, which of the blockbusters did you catch between the hours of 8:45 and 10:30 last night? I waited patiently on you for some glowing commentary regarding my goat's 33rd La Liga hat-trick. Interesting.
I was busy with the
alas.
Inter Milan derby. Sorry,
I see.
that was fantastic.
All right, Tony Ayo says, personally disagrees with the president. Oh, no, this is not for the show. All right, we'll talk more about that at the top
Very
of the hour.
soon, yeah.
Victor Osai says, Messi's third goal is pure genius. It is more than the next level and well articulated Very interesting how you politicize that.
All right, Biggie from Katie says, no, you know Messi is a GOT GOAT, that's
Yeah.
greatest of all time.
Mhm.
Miss Kwese Tega Tiger, no, you know Chelsea destiny is on the high sea, and Man U is not even making top 4 or ever making top 4. Arsenal is doing me proud. Azizat Oshola scoring for Barca ladies. Juventus is now once beaten, now they have to be twice shy in the Champions League.
And finally, Chiwe Nancy says, I knew it. That first thing Zidane will do will be to bench Couture. Congratulations to Navas. No one will take your rightful position anymore.
All right, Lagos, thank you so much for being a part of the locker room this morning. Tega will be back on Wednesday, but
Yes.
before then, you can follow her on Twitter at Tega Supreme. And if you want to find out the work she's doing with ladies in sports, follow her at LIS International.
That's right.
As for Valentine and I,
We're here
we're here.
to talk with you, Lagos. So the top they are for Lagos Talks 981. Join us then.